the volume. So volume of a sphere, we didn't really talk about volume of a circle because, again, circles are just two-dimensional. You can't really fill them up with something. But when you talk about a sphere, again, picture like a ball or a globe or a Christmas ornament. Those are all examples of spheres. If you were to fill them up with like water or maybe fill them up with little popcorn kernels or something like that, however much that sphere can hold, that's the volume. Okay, so the volume is how much, if you were to fill up that sphere, how much could it hold inside of it? Okay, and again, we have a handy little formula for volume. Maybe it's not so handy because it has a fraction, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it. The formula for volume is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. Okay, we're progressively getting more r's in our formulas, right? So let's take a look at example 5 and see if we can use this formula to help us solve it. Example 5 says you unpack your Christmas snow globe and find that it is dry. You want to refill it but don't know how much water it holds. You know that the radius is 5 centimeters. Find the amount of water required for your snow globe in milliliters. Okay, don't worry about the in milliliters part right now. Let's just focus on finding the amount of water that is required for our snow globe, and then when we get our answer, then we'll figure out how to change the units. Okay, so we're looking for the amount of water that we need to fill up that snow globe again. Are we going to find circumference, surface area, or volume? If you said volume, you're right, because we said the volume is how much that sphere can hold. Okay, so let's start with our formula for volume. 4/3 pi r cubed. They give me the radius, which is very nice of them. So I'm going to plug in 5 for my radius. Okay. So now it's just a simple arithmetic calculation. You can grab your calculators. 4/3, so on your calculator you want to write 4 divided by 3 times pi times 5 to the 3rd power. And let's round that to two decimal places. Because in class we said if they don't tell us how far to round, we're going to round to 2 decimal places. So I'm getting an answer of 523.598. Now that 8 is going to cause the 9 to round to a 0, which causes the 5 to round up to a 6. So my volume is 523.6. Now remember the radius was in centimeters, so my volume is going to have centimeters. And I cubed that radius, so when I cubed that 5, I also cubed the centimeters. So my volume is going to be 523.6 centimeters cubed. Now they wanted the volume in milliliters. And we kind of talked about this earlier in class when we were finding the volume of other shapes. We said centimeters cubed, how does that compare to milliliters? Is it 1 to 1? Is it 1 to 2? Is it 1 to 4? Can you remember? If you said 1 to 1, you're correct. So in other words, 1 centimeter cubed is the same as 1 milliliter. So it's a pretty easy conversion. I just have to write 523.6. All I have to do is change the units, milliliters. So almost a half a liter when you think about it, because there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter. Almost a half a liter is going to go into that snow globe. That's a pretty good sized snow globe. All right, if you have any questions, bring those to class tomorrow. Otherwise, you can start working on that worksheet that I gave you in class, and then we can go through anything that you didn't understand tomorrow.